So it's time for another gardening week, and I am sowing seeds at last. It's taken me a long time to get around to it. I am doing 2 trays of spinach, so one in this containerised tray and one in that containerised tray. This is going to be the rubino, which are the lovely sort of red stemmed spinach for spring, and these are going to be for the responder, just a standard green leaf spinach as well, but a little bit more prolific than the rubino in theory. And all these seeds that I'm doing now are going to go in the really big cold frame that's currently got the carrots in. So when I take the tops off the carrots, which I'll be doing in about 4 weeks time, I should think, I just snip all the tops off all the carrots. That leaves loads of space to plant in between the rows of the carrots because they're on a 6-inch spacing. So I can get loads of spinach in, I can get loads of lettuce in. I have to keep on trimming the carrot tops because I keep on regrowing, but basically, as the carrots get harvested, the spinach and the lettuce kind of take over the beds completely, and by April time, it's all carrots and spinach basically. It's all lettuce and spinach. So that bed that's carrots will be onions in sort of about the 15th of April probably this year, so that gives me plenty of time to get a decent harvest off that bed. And the lettuce are going in this little tray, 9 different varieties. I'm just going to do a small quantity of lots of different varieties. I like to do that because I like to see which ones perform at this kind of strange time of year. So it's not a usual time, but I've found it works pretty well. It certainly works a lot better than having starting them in sort of February. By the time we get to February, these will be really nice big plants, really well established, and probably give a harvest 3 weeks earlier probably. And that's kind of essential because it's that 3 or 4 week time period will be the primary harvest time just before the onions go in. So if I put them in February, they wouldn't even be ready by the time the onions go in. So you have to sort of get your timings absolutely spot on if you're going to do something like this, where you don't want to take the carrots tops off too early. Sort of about the end of November is about as early as you want to do it, because carrot fly is still around, so you don't want the beds all exposed, let the carrot flies in. So you want to keep it closed up under nets until the carrot flies all gone. Then bang your lettuce and your spinach in, let them grow as fast as they can, harvest all the carrots, then harvest all the lettuce and spinach, and then in goes your onions. It's quite a planting plan really. So let me swap the camera around and we'll see what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to start with the lettuce. I'll just quickly talk you through the varieties. So I'm going to do this Lolla Rossa. I've not done Lolla Rossa before, strangely enough, but I saw it on the Franchi website and I thought, yeah, definitely give that a try. It's a good early one. I'm doing Canasta, which is another one from Franchi or Seeds of Italy. Mine didn't germinate, so somebody kindly sent me some spares of theirs. I'm going to do just a few Grenoble Red, another Seeds of Italy. And you can see the sort of theme here. Seeds of Italy, you get loads and loads of seeds. So, you got like 1,000 in each packet. You never get through them before they end up not germinating for you. So they're a great one to kind of experiment with. And I'm going to do then all of these, which are Salanovas. And the reason that I'm doing these is because they make a really great single head harvest. And all of these, again, early varieties that are not designed really for overwintering, but they are designed for sort of February, March. And since I'm doing them under cold frames, it's essentially February and March. So, they should grow okay. And yeah, as I say, they're just designed for a single head harvest to give you like a really nice big harvest over a short growing window. So I will get those sorted out, and as I say, I'm not really doing very many of any of them, and I'm also doing winter density. I find winter density doesn't overwinter for me, and it certainly doesn't give me a very good winter harvest, but it does pretty well early in the season, so we'll see. It's a nice crispy lettuce. I like a good bit of crispness and crunch in my lettuces. Somebody commented actually that they really like listening to me say certain words. I guess it's my accent that I don't think I have. And crunch was one of the words that they really like to hear me say. So there you go, should be happy about that. Right, so let's get these lettuces in. So these selling over, actually, they're interesting in the way that they're packaged. So you get these little tiny tubes with pelleted seeds in them. And I'm just going to do 5 or 6 of them, because I only want 5 really to germinate of each one of those. And this variety is extra net. I'm going to have to come back and sort these out of it, because it doesn't make for a very good video with me prattling around with seeds. So the next one is this half flex. I've already sown this one before. And I don't actually have very many of those left, so 3 of those, which is a shame. But I'm not going to open another packet just to try that. And then there's surat. Obviously, my ability to pronounce foreign words is pretty pitiful. So this is, I think it's a really lovely red one, this one. And it comes in a bigger little tube with a lot of those in that one. So they're really expensive, these. Not this particular variety, but all of these Salanovas are really expensive. You know, they work out probably at something like 5 pence a lettuce head or something like that, you know, which is kind of extreme by comparison with, you know, your seeds of Italy, where you're talking something, you know, well, a tiny fraction of a pence. But it's nice to grow something different. So, you know, that's what I'm doing. And the reason that the Salanovas are such a great head lettuce, I think, is that every single leaf kind of grows off a single stem. And all you have to do is kind of slice that stem out with a knife, and every leaf is kind of a uniform size. So you get like hundreds and hundreds of these lovely, not particularly crispy, but, you know, a reasonable texture of leaf. They just make such a lovely sort of baby lettuce mix. And that's what they're designed for, you know, they're specifically bred for baby leaf mixes, which I really like to do in spring. Yeah, so this last one is Ballark, and it's another red one. So it's quite nice to get some, you know, quite a really nice range of red lettuces in the Salanova range. It's a huge range of lettuces as well, just quite incredible number of varieties sort of bred in that family. So as I said, that's those, and then just, you know, by way of contrast, like, just look at how many seeds are in here. Like, I don't know whether you can see down into that packet, but, you know, like thousands and thousands of them. So you can afford to be generous. It's one of the nice things about growing over winter is, especially when you're kind of using a bed that's only available for such a short time window, it really does provide an opportunity to play around, you know, try out new varieties, take a bit of a risk, you know, in a way that you just wouldn't dare do, or I wouldn't dare do in summer, because, you know, in summer I've got to feed a lot of people, and, you know, I can't take a risk with their diet. So, yeah, I tend to be quite cautious in summer and quite experimental in winter. Right, so that's how I do my lettuces, and then I just pop a little bit of compost over those. I'm looking for sort of 8 to 10 millimetres deep, but you know, I don't really fuss about it, because you know, lettuces are going to grow or not grow. It doesn't really matter too much how deep you sow them, as long as you don't sow them too close to the surface in summer. It doesn't matter quite as much, you know, in winter, because they're not going to dry out, are they? And these are definitely going under grow lights. There's not a lot of point doing lettuces at this time of year unless you're going to do them under grow lights. So that's those, and now I'm going to do the responder. This is just a standard green spinach. As I say, there's nothing, I find it hard to get excited about spinach. You know, just a standard green one. I prefer the kind of reddy tinged ones. I just like the look of them, and I like the taste of them just a little bit more, I think. So I'm just going to do a few of these. I'm just going to put 2 seeds in each module, and these are coated seeds. Makes it easy to see that you've sown them. So bright. And you know, somebody might be thinking, do I always use organic seeds? Well, I don't. Just because quite a lot of my favourite varieties are not available in certified organic seeds, and I don't really think it matters very much. You know, I think it matters a lot more that your lettuces are grown to maturity organically and fed organically, and not sprayed with pesticides and all of that. But at sowing time, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be important enough for me to think too much about it. I'm just an 80-20 person, and I kind of feel that I get, you know, 80% to organic, 100% organic is good enough for me. So now I'll do the Rubino. Now we're going just a centimetre deep, or thereabouts. You know, obviously they're not exactly, because if you're just doing it with your finger like this, again, it honestly very rarely matters. I mean, I can't even think of a seed where the difference between 8 millimetres and 12 millimetres really makes a difference. They might come up 2 days difference in time, but by the time you're actually planting them out, they've all sort of caught up. So, yeah, the finger is my tool of choice for this job. And these are not coated seeds, so I have to pay a bit more attention. And again, you know, I'm putting 2 seeds in because I hate having a module that doesn't germinate. And 2 seeds are going to grow fine together. Sometimes I do think that a single seed, a single plant grows better than 2 plants together. And that's kind of sacrilege, you know, that some people seem to think that it's always better to multi-sow things. I'm not so sure. But, you know, again, being 80-20, I actually prefer plant in every location rather than having gaps in my beds. And, you know, it's just sort of like my OCD nature, which is very mild and probably shouldn't be described as OCD because it's kind of an insult to anybody who has actually got it. But yeah, if I drop three seeds in, I don't go back and take a seed out. And if I drop one seed in, I don't go back either. I only need 36. Oh, there's our doorbell. Yeah, I only do 36. I only need 36 modules out of these 40, so I can afford for a couple of them to fail. Right, so that is my sowing finished for the week. So, since there's not much actual gardening going on today, I thought I'd do a quick progress update. You can see these carrots in front of me now. Almost every single one has germinated. There's a couple of gaps, and I'm probably going to prick out some of these carrot seedlings and just plant them in the gaps, because even a forked carrot seedling carrot is better than nothing. There are some slug trails, so I'm pleased I put a few slug pellets down on here, and cat paw prints, of course. You know, cats just love to walk all over the place, especially on freshly planted beds. Anyway, let's take a look at the spinach. So this is the spinach that I planted out last week. It's established really nicely. I'm so pleased with it. You know, it doesn't always happen every year that everything works out well, but this year it's looking really good. There's no slug problems, no caterpillars or anything like that, which is looking pretty nice, and lots of new leaf growth, and healthy leaf growth as well. You know, it's not leggy or anything like that. Nice compact little plants. So looking at how well this is doing, actually I think I might be taking a harvest off this in late winter for baby leaves for salads, and that was always a hope. So mainly it's for spring, but yeah, that's always a nice bonus. So the bed we just looked at was 4 weeks old, and this bed is 7 weeks old. What a difference a few weeks can make. This is ready for a light harvest if I happen to need it. I don't really need it right now. I think I'm taking enough off my more mature beds, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. There is a little bit of slug damage on some of these leaves. Just need to keep an eye on it. I don't think it'll be a problem. As soon as the weather cools down, slugs kind of, you know, some of them hibernate, but they definitely slow down. They don't eat as much, so we generally don't have too much of a problem. But right now it's still very mild and they're still pretty active. But yeah, happy with this. And then this is the spinach bed that we're currently harvesting from, and this is just a fraction over 8 weeks old. So yeah, it's doing pretty well. This is one of the first beds to be replanted though, because this is one of the beds into which I'm putting my overwintered cauliflowers and calabrese. That's the same with this bed as well. Basically it looks pretty much the same. Yeah, so as long as this gets me through winter, I've really not got any expectations for this bed in spring, because I said it'll all be replanted by the time we get to spring. So a couple of days ago we actually had a really nice sunny day, so I managed to get all the undercover beds really well watered and dried off as well. And so I don't really know now how many days we're going to get when we can actually water in November. We probably won't need any days, and then I'll stop watering in December. These are the overwintered onions. Whoa, it's raining. Oh, so I'm back sheltering in the polytunnel. Hope you can hear me with this rain really bouncing off the roof now. And I got a bit wet just in those few seconds getting inside. Anyway, I just wanted to say those onions looking really well established now. Those are the Tough Ball and Leela, and yeah, I've got a really nice bed of onions as well that we'll be eating through winter, and they're looking really strong, so I'm very happy with those. I think that's enough updates. So just before we do the harvest, I thought I'd just show you my morning routine on a nice sunny day like today. I'll pop down to the allotment, make sure all the doors are open, because you know, ventilation and sunshine is what the plants need at the moment rather than just heat. And all the beds are opened up, and oh, such a nice way to spend the first few minutes of the day. I'll be back this afternoon to enjoy a bit of the sunset, and yeah, not many days like today of course, but whenever we get this kind of opportunity, it's really nice to take it. Well, November, what a great time of the year for harvesting. Such amazing taste and texture. We've just had our second frost, and so everything's sweetening up beautifully. So many things taste so much better than they do in summer. And yeah, let's have a look. So we've got celery at the back there, chard, various different types of pak choi, all sorts of different onions and garlic and stuff from the store, potatoes from the store. So you can see these potatoes, these are from harvested in summer, starting to sprout a little bit because it's been so warm in September and October. But the Sarpamira are pretty good still, no signs of those starting to germinate or sprout. And I just picked one little sample from the tubs outside. We harvest a tub a week from now until April time, and of course those are in much nicer condition than the ones that were harvested earlier and stored. Celeriac, oh actually just all of these roots, amazing roots at this time of year. Jerusalem artichokes, yacon, that yacon, absolutely beautiful. So crispy and sweet, it's an amazing vegetable. Obviously Brussels sprouts are a root, but we've got some lovely carrots again, they're starting to sweeten up really nicely. I've got a few salad carrots, a few turnips, look at those turnips, beautiful. And oca, so I picked just a few oca just to show you just how beautiful they are at this time of year. So crunchy and zesty, you know, they've got like a lemony sort of zest to them, absolutely fantastic. And I have these in my salad instead of radish because they're so great. Beetroot from the store, I've actually got some golden beetroot, but it's at the bottom of the apple bucket. So yeah, that's lovely too. Little tiny parsnips, but yeah, still a root, so gorgeous. And I've got all these beautiful squashes of course. So this is actually as a centre cut, Crown Prince, lovely leeks. We just picked the last of the apples, so they're all going into apple sauce. We've got eating apples as well, which we picked before, they're just in the store. And colettes, I love colettes, little tiny colettes, I love them like that. But I also love them, if I can find one of them, like that. So that is a colette top, it's like a little cabbage, and absolutely stunning, beautiful tender leaves, really lovely. And I've started to pick these because we've got 30 odd different colette plants, so I'm picking 1 or 2 a week now. That'll bring on the development of the sprouts on the stems. And talking of sprouts on the stems, also picking these little red cabbage pups off the stems. And I like these actually more than red cabbages, but I like red cabbages a lot as well. Green curly kale, forgotten what this one's called, Pentlandbury kale, and card over there. Actually, that's black magic by the look of it. Very nice too. All again sweetening up. Not sweetening up, unfortunately, is the radicchio. That's always really bitter, but isn't it beautiful? And that is going to really brighten up the salad mixes. Just make sure you eat it with something sweet if you're like me. So a pear or a grape or something like that really makes it much better. Somebody recommended oranges, I think, go really well with radicchio in a salad. Salad rocket, Claytonia, salad onions and spinach. It looks like I'm missing a bucket of spinach. I think that's the second time I've left it on the allotment. It's so annoying when I do that. Anyway, it'll be fine. It's cold. I'll collect it another day. And yeah, so I'm going to put some of that spinach into the salad mixes, and some of it will just go for cooking. And then I've got the salad bases, which are always the lettuce base, to which I add all of these things: salad rocket, and salad onions, and Claytonia, and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to make up those salads in a minute so you can see what they look like. And I've just got a few tomatoes there from the supermarket, but everything else is homegrown. So my name's Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.